radio fans, and welcome to Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite Era, Episode 2. We did it. What if I told you the world's greatest magician wasn't David Blaine?
Oh.
What if I told you the person who blew up a Ron and Fez party the most, had the worst appearance, wasn't Billy Staples?
Huh.
What if I told you we were about to learn it all tonight on this episode of Davey Mac's Tales of the Satellite, where we focus on your love of puppets.
Oh my gosh, is that what we're doing today?
It's fun that you don't know.
Well, first of all, should you introduce me? Here is the one of the stars of Tales from the Satellite, Eastside Dave McDonald.
I would hate to correct you, but let me just say, here is the star from Tales from the Satellite.
I mean,
David McDonald.
I was trying to be nice.
You're
the one who brings in all the technology. You set this thing up for a couple hours.
No, I appreciate it.
And then when we're done, I say, okay, scram, I have some Mario Kart to play. Because I don't, we are doing this live from my apartment, from my house. I mean, what do you think about my place? You've still yet to compliment my beautiful apartment house.
I think the first time I came here, I said, Dave, I want to move in. Like, I don't want to ever leave. This is amazing.
I can make that happen. I'm going to need at least $1,200 in rent every 2 weeks.
Well, you can talk to my landlord and see how likely that is. But
so today it's about puppets, is it?
It is about puppets.
All of our beautiful puppets.
Unfortunately, of these, I think only one actually makes a real appearance on the tale we're going to discuss.
I believe Chipples was on the Ron and Fez show.
You know what? I'm so glad you brought that up because that was a highly disputed, debated topic amongst your producers. Was Chibbles? Could we find the clip of Chibbles on the Ron and Fez shows?
Chibbles was on the Ron and Fez show.
Some people thought it might have been Davey Mac's sports program, but that'll come up. We did our research. Don't worry. It was just a hot topic.
It was the same thing as, how Roberto would like to say things were small because I guess he was a small puppet. Chipples would always incorporate the word chip in it. Not a lot. Yeah, that's why in the puppet rankings, Chipples is pretty down there in the list. The best thing he's got going for him is the clown face. But outside of that, it was just pretty much, what's your favorite kind of food? And then he would say,
Chips Ahoy.
Chips Ahoy, a chocolate chip cookie.
Yep.
And that was really it. Not a lot there. But I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out here. It's all about the puppets.
Yeah, it is. It's kind
of favorite.
It's kind of a change of pace. Last time we had a nice story with a
change
clear.
Of pace. This is only the second episode.
Yeah, but last time we had a clear start-finish story. This is more about you.
What was last episode 1 about? In case anyone missed it.
In case you missed it, and why would you? It's amazing.
It doesn't make any sense why you would miss it.
But it was the infamous pizza smash bit.
The pizza face, the pizza into Fez's face.
AKA
incident,
Slave Boy Week.
Very controversial. Slave Boy Week. Go check out that premiere episode. But today, we're lighting it up with the mood, with the puppets.
And we're going to start the same way your love of puppets was first displayed on the Ron and Fez show, which is we get a report from Fez who comes in and goes, Ronnie, I was in Dave's car and I saw 2 puppets. And obviously Ron needed to know more, so he asked you some questions. Do you, by chance, remember the 2 puppets you were carrying around at that time?
Yes, one of them was Oldie. He had a previous name of Smeagol, but then he became Oldie.
Interesting.
And so he's known by two different names. I always love this guy because he has an old man's face, but then somehow the body of a monkey. It's a very creepy looking puppet. And then the other one was Roberto the puppet, your classic Charlie McCarthy, 1930s ventriloquist puppet look.
Well, there goes my first question, because it was going to be, was it a Charlie McCarthy puppet? Because right away, Fez would not let that go. You were trying to say, no, it's not. And he was like, no, Dave, it's clearly Charlie McCarthy.
It was a Charlie McCarthy puppet.
Very cool.
Don't think, when Fez was saying that, I didn't know who Charlie McCarthy was at the time.
I still don't.
So that's why I was just in the fighting mood, and I would deny about Charlie McCarthy. I didn't know who Charlie McCarthy was.
Was he a puppet, I'm assuming?
He was a guy who did a puppet, act in the 1930s, and the puppet that I was using was the same style of Charlie McCarthy.
Okay, it's the typical dummy you see in TV shows.
You're very stereotypical dummy. But I think those were in my car because what I did was I took those when I went to the Bonnaroo Music Festival in Tennessee in 2005. So this would match up. I never took them out of the car, but I brought them to Bonnaroo. And then I set them up on chairs, like without backs, like just your typical folding chairs. And I would put the blanket over the back of the chair, and just have the puppets sitting there. And you have to understand, you have fucking Primus fans, Fish fans, Grateful Dead fans, and the puppets are just sitting there talking. I swear to God, I could have made it $10,000 from these goddamn stoned hippies. I'd be like, hi, did you enjoy seeing Trey Anastasio play? And they would just sit there all fucking stoned out of their mind and just like sit there and enjoy a puppet show. And I never took him out of the car, so that's why I gave Fez a ride somewhere, and he saw the puppets.
And honestly, Oldie / Smeagol would be perfect for that. He's a calming guy. He's a calming figure. He's, if you had, what was the Chipples?
Chipples is the clown, yeah.
Chipples might cause some bad trips. Oldie, I don't think it's going to cause you to go down a bad hole.
No. I guess Oldie, I don't even remember Oldie's voice. He was, like an old man.
I absolutely love seeing the Grateful Dead. Mickey Hart is my favorite.
That kind of bullshit. But
Brilliant,
people would
yeah.
actually goddamn fucking sit there and stare at the puppets.
Which
It was wonderful. I should have put a hat out there. I'm telling you, I would have made money.
Which is amazing because I hear the idea of ventriloquism on the radio and everybody goes, that's dumb. Why would you, it's funny because you can't see the guy's mouth, so it doesn't matter. He just has to be able to.
I was doing it for real.
But then you made it amazing. And it's kind of like at Bonnaroo.
Well,
you hear the idea
I'm a
of
great ventriloquist. I feel like I'm one of America's, leading ventriloquists.
I would take it beyond ventriloquism. Because this is another instance of you just naturally being driven towards entertainment. Like we were talking about this before the show.
These parts.
You have so many different avenues you go down. You've got music. You still are. You've got puppetry, ventriloquism,
all around entertaining. When you think of it like that.
A lot of people like to be like, "Oh, I'm a musician,"
right.
or you try to do it all. But it does seem the three that really stay the most through. I would say your career that I've noticed would be puppets, music, and talking. Being an entertainer on air. Would you agree? Maybe wrestling could get in there as well, but
for what?
For the main focuses of entertainment, there are other things that you pop out of, but I think the puppets is sports for sure. Yeah. But
even on an entertainment thing, I like to talk to sports or make the sports references with the jokes and this and that. But I've always loved puppets. Since I was a little kid, and it was actually Mr. Rogers.
Okay. Because you said when Ron asked you about it, you're like, I've been doing this. I've been training for 12 years. I have 12 years experience doing this. I've been into it since I was a kid. And I was curious, A, who got you into it? And B, who trains how does your parent let you go hang out with somebody who's going to teach you to be a ventriloquist?
I don't think I got training from a professional.
Okay.
I think I just kind of bought some books. Remember when you could buy those little books? Something for dummies and this and that.
But you can't buy a ventriloquism book for dummies. Is it for the guy? Is it for the guy doing it? For the puppet? Is it for the dummy?
For the fucking ventriloquist. I got one of those books. Same thing. I got one of those. A Guitar 101 for stupid people. So I got one of those things, and I absolutely trained, and I had a puppet act. I had a puppet routine. It worked at Bonnaroo.
You said you had attempted a number of shows prior to this point, but Bonnaroo being one. I
did a talent show in high school. It did not go over well. It was one of the most poorly received acts of the entire talent show in high school.
Nobody could follow it?
Yeah, they said we could see your mouth moving.
I did hear at one of the early puppet shows, somebody recommended maybe a nurse-doctor routine so you could wear a mask. And I feel like that might make life easy.
Good.
Yeah.
Especially in the tiny, if this was 2020.
That'd be perfect.
Oh my God, I should have thought of that. Damn it.
But, so you said you did coffee shop shows for a while. Was this a running thing?
I worked at the Dublin House in Red Bank, New Jersey, and it's a classic Irish pub. It's a great pub that still exists. But at the time, they had an upstairs, which was a coffee house, and people would bring their poetry. It's very 90s,
Yeah.
Although this is early 2000s.
I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's?
That kind of shit. Yeah. Bring your stupid coffee, poetry up there, and everyone thinks that you're fantastic. And I would bring up my puppets. Okay. Again, that would definitely not go over well because this was very much of a hipster crowd. But I was trying to figure out, some place where the puppets would play. I'll tell you what, they don't play in a coffee house in Red Bank, New Jersey. That's for sure.
Ironically, I think it was the puppet's lack of ability to play anywhere that people fell in love with. Like, it would derail. One of the favorite moments is Roberto ruining Paulo's dreams. Like, Paulo literally was ready to fight a puppet.
Now, what happened?
We'll get to that in a minute. But
okay.
You said you brought your puppets to the coffee shops. You know where you did not bring them?
No.
To the first day when Ron asked you to do a puppet show on air. You apparently wrote yourself a note. You were like, in big blue letters, bring in the puppets, and you forgot. So Ron was like, well, just use your hand. And you instantly went to Ralphie.
That's my puppet voice. That's my puppet Randy.
What? Randy is the name of your puppet?
Yeah, I got a little ventriloquist puppet in a tuxedo.
And what's your other puppet's name?
Your hand's name was Ralphie. And I'm just curious, what happened to Ralphie?
Ralphie was obviously
Randy, not Ralphie. Randy, yeah.
Well, obviously I was a fan of the fucking Christmas Story.
Exactly.
You just named the first two the kid characters.
I think it might have been around Christmas too.
Yeah, so there you go. If you're throwing Ralphie and Randy at me, obviously that was just desperation, live in the moment type stuff. I can't say that I ever had a hand puppet. I had proper puppets.
I do have to ask while we're on the subject, are you a fan of South Park?
Yeah.
Okay, because the voice you went with and that oftentimes appeared when Roberto was speaking was very similar to Mr. Hanky.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
Howdy-ho.
I see Mr. Hanky is like,
Howdy-ha!
The sun shining very bright. Howdy-ho!
Exactly. I'll try and make it different then,
Oh, it's Christmas time!
and Roberto was more like,
I'm small! I'm small! I'm upset! I'm hurt! Help! Help!
Roberto developed
Help!
developed a smoking habit during his tenure because when he first started, he didn't have the gravel at all, and Ron was literally like, "You're just doing Mr. Hanky, Dave,"
man.
and you kept going to that voice. But
you
did Ralphie.
There's only so many ways to do a high voice.
You did Randy. You didn't really have anything prepared because
I had nothing
you were on the
prepared.
spot.
I don't even recall Randy the hand puppet.
Now, you didn't plant the puppets, right? There was a lot of talk that you did this to try to come up with another way to get on air. Ron says that right away. He's like, is this just another Dave scheme to try to get some more airtime? Did you leave these out?
What else are we supposed to do in the game of radio except try to create shit to do on the air? I loved that fucking criticism in circa 2006. He's just trying to get on the air. No shit, you fucking idiot. That's the whole point of entertainment. To get on the air. To fucking get it into the spotlight. And to entertain. Unlike fucking Shrinking Violets like Black Earl Douglas, my goal is to fucking entertain the masses. Which I fucking do. And that's the funniest fucking shit that ever happened. He's just saying, I'm not talking Ron. I'm saying this is about the whack bag, contingency. He's just saying it to get on the air. He's just saying it. No shit!
And it's
called performing, you fuckheads.
And
then that's why I got on the air, and 20 years later, and still in the air, in New Jersey's #1 radio station, where I do fucking mornings. #1 ratings book, WRAT 95.9 FM. Sorry to plug my own shit, but I like being #1, and I have been forever.
Is that new?
Because I got on the air, dum-dum.
Is that a new thing, being #1 in the books, or has it been several in a row?
32 goddamn books in a row we've been #1 at the Jersey Shore. That's 8 years, in case you're keeping track. Oh, also the #1 sports independent show of all time, according to a little database called iTunes. But, again, I just say things and do things to get on the air. This is why radio fans sometimes are just fucking perplexing. It's like the guy comes on, he makes you talk, he makes you fucking, he either makes you pissed off at the radio, or he makes you interested in the radio, but whatever the fuck it is, and then, this is what he's doing. He's not really into puppets.
But
What do you want me to tell you? Yes, I am.
even if you aren't,
Who the fuck would walk around with all these goddamn puppets if they weren't into them?
even if you aren't into puppets, if it's what Ron and Fez said would get on the air, you'd get into puppets, right?
Yes!
You think I'm a recorder enthusiast? No, but I do it because it fits the show when Roy's out. You know what I mean? Like, you're playing a role. I think the question I'm more ahead, though, is that how you got things on air? Like, would you do stuff like that where you accidentally left something for Fez to see?
No.
Or would
that's
you...
Machiavellian.
Or would you come in...
I told you exactly
yeah.
why they were in. I went to Bonnaroo in 2005, and sadly, sometimes things, you pack them in the car
yeah.
and they stay in the car. And those puppets stay in the car. This is probably 06. It probably wasn't too much longer after Bonnaroo.
Yeah, it was right after.
Fez saw the goddamn fucking puppets.
No,
So,
I get it. I'm asking more in general, though. Would you come and be like, hey, I have this idea. We can say Fez saw the puppets in my car. Or would you, if you had an idea?
If I had an idea, I would give it.
So you wouldn't, okay, that was my question.
I wouldn't just plant stuff and hope that people would see my Easter eggs that I had planted around the goddamn building. I hope that they would say, like, hey, do you have a sketch prepared?
I think that just plays into how good you, Ron, and Fez were at working people. Because that's why people get, oh, he's just doing this for air. Yeah, no shit. They had a meeting about it 3 days ago where they were like, on Wednesday, Dave's going to show up. And you know what I mean? Like, yes, of course he's ready to be on air because they planned it out. It's not just
the
like...
funniest thing. All these years later, he's just saying it to get on the air. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why I have a job on the air. That's what I do for a living. Sorry that it makes the 2006 anti-Dave people upset. But those people have just dropped off the map. There's like only 3 of them left on the planet because they realize they're dull and antiquated if they start down that road. Because 20 years later, I'm actually kicking ass in radio and broadcasting. Some of their heroes aren't.
And,
Go ahead.
And mentoring the next generation. Mm-hmm. So we have your first puppet show. We have the idea that Fez saw him in the car. The year's 2006. I think it's very important to note, in 2006, Jeff Dunham's Arguing with Myself came out. How do you feel about Jeff Dunham?
I don't like Jeff Dunham. I don't like anything about Jeff Dunham. I don't appreciate I get Jeff Dunham confused with Jeff Foxworthy.
Okay.
Did Jeff Dunham have a mustache?
I don't think so.
No. So there are too many Jeffs. But I've seen Jeff Dunham once on America's Got Talent. I didn't care for it. I thought if America's Got Talent really wants a puppeteer, go with the Dave Man.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have my puppets are going to be, they're going to be a little bit more unpredictable. Jeff Dunham, the puppets are a little cookie cutter. They're a little PG for my taste.
Ooh.
The puppets don't make you think. Puppets are going to make you think. They're going to make you,
Yeah. Ooh,
question.
I have a dead terrorist puppet. I'm so edgy. Come on. Yeah, it's 2006. Yeah, step your game up.
Come on.
And
not a fan of Jeff Dunham.
It does feel like the puppets kind of became your tool for mocking.
Not a fan of Sherry Lewis either with Lamb Chop.
With Lamb Chop.
That's another rival I have. And I don't like the little girl on AGT who sings. There's a little girl who sings with her puppets. I don't like her either. I don't think you understand. We ventriloquists, we have a massive, rivalries with one another.
You're almost sounding as crazy as comics.
Yeah. I don't care for any of these people. Okay, I should be booked in Vegas for a goddamn 30-day stay at some goddamn casino.
Yeah,
not Jeff Dunham, not that girl on AGT. Sherry Lewis is dead.
But I think it goes beyond puppets. I think your puppets kind of became a way to mock people in general. Like, you didn't like their form of entertainment or things like that. Like, if you look at Shock Jock Robot, he's mocking the try hard, edgy, edgelord Shock Jock. Like, it became kind of a parody tool. And
I guess that's probably right. And I would consider Shock Jock Robot a puppet now that I think about it. Or actually, now technically on the all new Davey Mac Sports program, we've rechristened him the Sports Robot.
Sports Robot, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he very much is a puppet because he talks. He's got the
I
little
consider
thing.
him that much, yeah. Lil Davey.
Lil Davey.
Yeah.
Here's Lil Davey right there. This was given to me on the Ron and Fez show. And I tried to, you can't really see it anymore, but I drew in an orange mustache
like you have, yeah.
And I wrote Guns N' Roses on the shirt.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Where does pants go?
I don't know where his pants went. We just move on.
All right.
Next topic. I don't know where his pants or his shoes went.
You know what? He doesn't need them.
We're need
inside.
to know everything about the puppet's clothing. This isn't a fucking fashion show. Let's just move on.
So I'll
find the pants. I don't know what happened to his pants.
Man, if he's having a lazy day, it's fine.
Weird. It's not that weird that the puppet's got no pants and his fucking legs are sticking.
He's little Davey. You know the number of times I come over and you don't have pants on? Here we are.
Exactly.
It's
it
all
happens
good.
every goddamn time.
Now, we said Roberto's kind of the main puppet who made the play on Ron and Fez.
He was
but
number one.
He's not the number one we meet. The first puppet we actually meet, you just threw on the floor. It's Smeagol.
What?
And you say Smeagol
Smeagol's /Oldie?
/Oldie. You had named him Smeagol, and you make it clear, like the character in Lord of the Rings, but he is not the character in Lord of the Rings.
No, he took his namesake was from the Lord of the Rings. Gollum's real name.
Yeah, but it's not.
Smeagol.
It is not a Gollum puppet.
No,
I could see where you get
otherwise
that.
it'd be
Yeah.
like,
Hello here. Oh, I'll need to find the ring in the river. And then I put the ring on my finger and it extends me life in a very unnatural way.
Me precious.
And I don't like to eat fish. Oh wait, I does like to eat fish. What was the one thing in Lord of the Rings? Oh, the bread. I don't like to eat the bread because it's too dry. It needs sometimes it does.
but that was not how he talked. He
No.
just kind of talked, that kind of thing.
Actually, the way Ron described it, it sounded like Fraggle Rock meets Kermit the Frog.
Well, this guy looks like a Fraggle Rock guy, doesn't he? Kind of
And-
looks like Uncle Traveling Matt.
Yeah, and you did say Jim Henson was a big influence
Jim
on
Henson's
you.
massive. So now that I
you
think
said
about it,
Henson
that
and
has to
Mr.
be it.
Rogers.
That has to be it. Well, okay. So Mr. Rogers, I remember his little part at the end, the little fantasy where there was like a little kingdom and
The train would go, and you'd go, oh, yeah.
That was my favorite part of Mr. Rogers by far. I could give a shit about him changing his shoes and
Yeah,
sweater
no.
and showing us how to mail a letter at the post office. Like,
Be a good
that's what
person.
parents are for, stupid.
Yeah, let me see a puppet.
But I loved that Fantasyland. And I would, oh my God. I asked my mom, I go, can you get me some of those puppets? She said they're not for sale. I don't know if she was telling the truth or not.
I didn't ask you to buy them, Mom. I said, can you get me some puppets?
I
Go,
know.
let's go rob Mr. Rogers.
I don't know. She's always in denial. But then,
It's a stick-up day in the neighborhood.
absolutely obsessed with the Muppet Show.
Okay.
100%. It was the Muppet Show. And I got a Kermit the Frog doll, which I think was a puppet. And it was like my most prized possession when I was about 6, 7, 8 years old. It was the number one thing I owned. So, the Jim Henson thing has to be it.
And you saw the Muppets and went, I want to be a Muppet when I grow up.
I
and
have
I
to
think
be a
you lived
Muppet.
it out.
Yeah.
Minus being a puppet. Like, you kind of behave like them. You live that life. You sing. You're
Yeah.
always happy.
It's time to light the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to light the music on the Muppet Show tonight.
So,
This is why my neighbors hate me.
yeah, I could tell.
I closed the windows.
The
Still
minute,
don't like me.
The minute we started the podcast, I heard the door slam as somebody was
They
leaving
always
in anger.
slam it, too.
Yeah, they weren't
It's always
happy.
a signal, too, to
Like,
me, to shut up.
Come on, Dave.
So they
yeah.
always slam the door.
It's fucking 12:30. What are they
know.
doing? Part of my language, folks. So then Smeagol doesn't last long.
12:30 at night. Go ahead.
Roberto comes out. And at this
That's
point,
the star of the show, isn't it? Roberto.
he's the main one.
Yeah, well, he had the tuxedo. He looked great. He's ready for any sort of Hollywood premieres, walking the red carpet, taking pictures with the paparazzi. See, when you're wearing a tuxedo the way Roberto is, you're instantly class personified. You could be out there selling cologne
And
if you had to.
People got that right away.
Right away.
because
He
you
was
were
the class
talking-
of the puppets.
Well, you were talking sports, and you gave an opinion, and somebody called in and was like, hey, the next time Dave gives a dumb sports opinion, why doesn't he have Roberto do it instead? And then Roberto
Dumb
gave,
sports opinion.
which it was not. I think the exact call was you were saying the Giants were going to win the Super Bowl or something, and they ended up doing it. So
And look who won the fucking Super Bowl that year. The Giants.
So,
Son of a bitch.
but ever the consummate entertainer, you and Ronnie presses you had to go get him. You go get Roberto, and Roberto does sports takes, and Ron announces he hates puppets. I think his exact words were, Dave is making me hate men.
Mickey, you hate what?
Men.
Men?
I hate all men because of how you're behaving, Dave. Yeah. So you try to do Roberto giving the normal Davey Mac takes, like good sports takes, and Ron goes, no, you're supposed to be doing jokes. What are you doing? Then you do a joke, and Ron goes, that's a stupid joke. Oh, you're just going for the laugh now? Come on, Roberto. And he just gives you no room at all.
I know, yeah. That's hard. That's hard to do.
And honestly, the producers were talking, we were kind of surprised that the puppets kept coming back, because usually it's don't irritate Ron,
Yeah.
right? Irritate Fez.
I am stupid at like things like that, where I'll just keep bringing the bit back until it gets over, and then finally it gets over, and then it's like, oh, look at this, that's pretty good. But yeah, I love the puppets. What am I supposed to do? I mean, I was going to keep the puppets in the office because they comfort me. Remember that Earl and I would be staying in the office after Ron and Fez left, doing different things. And I like some company because God knows the puppets are better company than Earl.
Yeah, the puppets aren't going to be
way
like,
more charisma.
I'll be right back, Dave, and then go Photoshop a bridge at sunset for 4 hours. Yeah, I get it.
Trust me, I could talk to the puppets and identify with them and even maybe get a little something back. Talking to Earl is like talking to the package of saltines that he would eat every day at 5:15.
Or intern Rob.
Yeah. No, you're just infuriating.
Yeah, no, sometimes. Almost as infuriating as some of these puppets got people. And that's the main story we're going to focus on with Roberto. Is we come in one day, and they start the show with the song I Hate Puppets. And you
Who
feel...
did that song?
I don't even know if it was who it was. It wasn't one of the Sleeves or Paranoid classics.
Yeah.
I think it was
actual
just
band?
It may have been, but no,
fine.
it was clips from the Ron and Fez show, so they were a fan. But
Puppet in Peril on the Ron and Fez show.
I don't like puppets, and Roberto is a puppet. Therefore I cannot like him. I don't like puppets, and Roberto is a puppet. Therefore I cannot like him. Ain't it funny how we never hear you and Dave talking at the same time? Roberto. Ain't it funny how we never hear you and Dave talking at the same time? Roberto. You're a dummy. I hope the termite eats you alive. You're made of wood and you look like Charlie McCarthy.
you go, something's up. And Ron goes, I'm not going to say any names, but the Ron and Fez fans who came out to Carrabba's need to learn how to drink. And Fezzy goes, oh boy, by the end of the party, you couldn't talk to 55% of them. And Ron says, I'm not going to say any names of any fans because I respect them.
Yeah.
But Eastside Dave, get in here.
Oh, no.
And you apparently had gotten hammered at this event.
Yeah, not so much, but yeah. Because I remember it pretty well.
They may have played it up for the air a bit too, you know.
Maybe.
But what do you remember about Carrabba's? Can you tell me that? Am I saying the restaurant right?
I was supposed to do a song with the Mikey D's band. I'm supposed to do Runaway by Del Shannon. So that song is, I've been walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel the pain. That was going to be Roberto's part.
What would he say? How would it sound?
Well, the song is like, and it's like, and then I walk along, I wonder what went wrong. And then the high part is,
I've been walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel the pain.
anyway, I had it, man. I would have been able to do it. It would have been fucking great. I sing the regular part, Roberto sings the high part. But Mikey D's band thought they were fucking AC/DC playing MetLife Stadium, and I fucking could not hear myself sing at all, so the music totally drowned out the little puppet. And I remember people being like, yeah, we couldn't hear the puppet when he started singing. I go, thanks a lot, you fucking assholes. What are you, the Who?
Well, you did.
The goddamn Who?
You did have a bit of a difficulty because, if you recall, you couldn't get the puppet too close to the microphone. Do you remember why? The puppet was soaking wet.
Right. The puppet had some beer spilled on him and stuff like that.
No. The puppet was soaking wet because he had spent the last week mocking another one of Dave's celebrity targets.
David Blaine. And Roberto came with us to David Blaine when he was what was that? He was hanging upside down.
So David Blaine initially put himself into water for a week. He was going to be in water for a week.
Yeah.
And I got to know, what did you feel about that trick? Did you think it was...
Loved it.
You loved it?
Oh, I love David Blaine.
Really?
Yes. I mean, well, like I said, I consider myself a Las Vegas act. And I mean, how can you not look up to David Blaine? He's one of the greatest Las Vegas acts ever. I am a big fan because how often can you just be walking in New York City, see something cool for free? Like you're getting to see a famous magician in a fucking sphere of water, and you can like go there, walk around at midnight, and no one would be around except David Blaine would actually be there floating in the water. It would be pretty cool. I loved it.
I'm sure the actual David Blaine was there at midnight floating in the water. You're
this
right,
clip
Dave.
is, I believe, on YouTube.
Yeah.
I believe, I mean visually.
We're not quite there yet.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the reason I asked why you feel about I felt like, honestly, you were mocking him.
No!
You read, this is the stupidest bit. He's clearly just going to put a dummy of himself in a jar and make it look like, I'm David Blaine, I'm in the water, and do it for a week.
So we got one of those containers that's like, you store your Christmas shit in it. It's plastic, it's see-through.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things you put in your Christmas ornaments or your Hanukkah ornaments or whatever the hell, in one of those things. But it's see-through, plastic. So we filled that up with water and put little Dave, put Roberto, who for that episode was little David Blaine, but yeah, we put Roberto in it.
And he stayed in there a week, if you'll recall. And I thought, honestly,
he
you were
survived his
just
challenge.
You were pointing out that literally all we're doing is putting a puppet of something in the water, and it's really not that hard.
No, I mean, this was a death-defying act that Roberto was committing to.
And he did. And you know who else defied death
And
during
he
that?
survived.
You. Because at one point, probably about a week in, you realized he was starting to bleed and the water was getting a little nasty. And Fez offered to buy you lunch if you drank a cup's worth of Roberto's water.
Oh, that's very, very toxic, I would think. Because, that's like old dye and paint. And that's where the water, that was the water.
And
Don't tell me I did it.
You did it.
I did do it.
You got it down. We were curious, did Fez actually buy you lunch?
I'm sure he did.
Okay, a
that
nice
would
one?
not be something that he would skip out on. If he says he's going to buy you lunch to drink the water, you're gonna get the free lunch.
You almost didn't get it down, but you did. Oh, it was pretty impressive. And while you're doing this, Roberto does some talking. He was allowed to put his head out of the water. As long as he stayed in it, so that was good. He did some talking.
Just like the real David Blaine, just like Big David Blaine.
Unfortunately, I think the time in water prevented Roberto from writing to prepare for the segment.
Yeah.
And as a result,
The material wasn't very good.
it wasn't bad. It was bad. There just weren't jokes written. And Ron gave you a hard time about that. Like, you need some jokes. And you said, I think the exact line was like, we may have to get Billy Staples back in here. And you said, Billy Staples has been giving me advice lately. And Ron went, oh, really? What advice is that? And you're like, I keep with it, try or something. And you're just like, okay, good. And that seems like an aside, but we'll come back to that in a little bit, that you were in contact with Billy Staples. So now we're at the party. Mikey D's band's playing.
Yeah. Well, wait a second. Is that the end of David Blaine? I want to give a shout out to Crazed and Spandy Man, who accompanied me and little David Blaine, aka Roberto.
Okay, we could do the whole David Blaine now. Let's get into it. So you have him in a jug, and then the plan comes. You're going to take little David Blaine to meet Big David Blaine.
Yeah.
Who came up with the idea? Was it you, for obvious reasons?
I mean, I don't know. That's not really.
I mean, it's not like it's a groundbreaking idea. Like, oh my God, I can't believe Dave came up with the idea to take,
I'm not sure who.
So now you have to carry this big jug of water to meet
that was tough.
David Blaine. And you said Crazed and Spandy Man helped?
Crazed and Spandy Man were there. And there may have been another person or two. Big A was probably there, Andrew Gold, I think. Anyway, we went and met David Blaine, and we got to meet him. Like, in other words, we were called up. David Blaine tells one of his little assistants, he goes
So is he still submerged in the water at this point?
Still submerged, but he was pointing at his assistant. He would point to tap the glass and then go from the assistant and point to us. And finally, the assistant comes over, and the assistant goes, would you like to meet David Blaine? And bring your puppet up to David Blaine.
That's
And I'm
so
like,
cool.
oh, hell yeah, we'd like to meet David Blaine. And so we went up to David Blaine, and I think I had Roberto touch the glass, and David Blaine touched the glass. And I think during the ABC special, we may have made, you know how they'll have a quick montage of 30 seconds of different people in and out, fast forward type of speed. But I think the Roberto made that ABC, the one ABC special that had him in the tank. I think Roberto made that special.
That's so cool.
Just for like a quick second in the montage.
That's really, and I think that says a lot about you. Because if you're David Blaine and you see somebody put a puppet in a box, you go, this guy's mocking me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think you tried your whole Ron and Fez career to be the heel. And you did it so well that it worked, but you're a natural babyface. Everybody wants to love you. And
This is true.
I think as a result...
There's probably a lot of people disagree with you on that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But get in line if you want to disagree with me. But I think people, even when you're trying to be the bad guy, end up liking you and on your side about it. And David Blaine seeing that was like, oh, this guy actually likes me. And you got to meet David Blaine, which is pretty cool.
Got to meet David Blaine, and he ended up having a good time. Because, listen, little David Blaine, Roberto, was only going to compliment the big one.
Yeah, he was
like, "You're my hero.
Until
I love you." And because I think he was upside down, he actually Roberto said, "Hang in there." That was he thought
That's
that
pretty
was funny.
good.
Yeah, that was a little joke.
Hey, Roberto wrote to meet David Blaine. He didn't write for the air, but he wrote for David Blaine, who he didn't even know he was going to meet.
Yeah,
that's so funny. I would imagine if you're stuck in a jar for a week, you go, that's kind of interesting. Let me see that. I'm sure he loved that it wasn't just another person or like, you know what I mean? Like some kid whose Make-A-Wish was to meet David Blaine. It was just like a normal weird thing.
Yeah, but like I said, you could see inside the container.
Absolutely.
It was clear. So you could see he was just water in a puppet.
And then after that, I believe is when you put the second container in because it was starting to leak a little too much out.
So.
And that's when you drank the water. But additionally, Roberto, when David Blaine got out, decided he was going to stay in a few extra days to beat the record.
Yeah.
So
and Roberto ended up defeating David Blaine. So I'd like the Guinness Book of World Records to at least jot that down, that Roberto the puppet has stayed under. He's been submerged longer than David Blaine.
I would say it's about as legitimate as David Blaine's claim as well.
I'd like to be entered then into that record book.
Well, I will make a call after the show.
Okay.
So that was David, and that was truly a bit paying off.
That was fun.
Was it not, though?
I enjoyed, because I also enjoyed meeting David Blaine. That was fun.
But
I liked his shows when he would levitate and stuff. But yeah, that was a good one. We got there. We got through the park. Crazed or Spandy Man didn't get hit by a car. There's always that issue that when you're walking just like 7 blocks, that one of our people, gets hit by like a horse and buggy or some kind of shit. Like it was never easy getting all of us over in one piece.
I know with the Davey Mac program these days, we have to have accountability buddies.
Yes.
All right, Big A, where's Bobo?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be with you.
Ever see the Dream Team with Michael Keaton?
Yes.
Where the escape guys go to a Yankee game.
One of my favorite
mental
movies.
Patients. Yeah, that's what it's like.
Yeah, 100%. That'd be a good way to describe it. The whole show. So you're at the party.
And this is the party at Carrabba's.
Still at Carrabba's. That's where we're starting this.
Where I had Runaway planned by Del Shannon, and unfortunately the band was way too loud.
Yeah.
And that's not my fault.
So that's what you remember. What else do you remember from the evening? I know this was a decade, almost 2 decades at this point.
I have a wonderful memory of a smoking hot bartender who looked like Shakira. And I tried the big shot thing of, I'm on Sirius XM satellite radio, and she was like, that sounds good. And I asked for her number, and I got it. Hold on. I got it. I was very excited by this. And now I'm asking her, and I'm like, oh, well, thanks. Oh, this is cool, man. Thank you. And then, and then I'm like, what's the accent? And she goes, oh, yes, I'm Israeli. I just got out of the Israeli army.
Oh, God, you could have been a Mossad.
She had just gotten out of the army. This was her first job. She had, been out of the army, the Israeli army.
Yeah.
And, 5 days later, she's talking to me and my puppet.
Yeah, I'm going to destroy that Gaza Strip.
It wasn't a match made in heaven. So I ended up...
It could have been.
It could have been.
This is for what you did to my savior.
The accent was intense.
Okay, it was the accent.
Yeah,
it wasn't
the accent.
the other stuff. I got you.
No, that other
just
stuff
to clarify. Yeah, absolutely.
I could give a shit. But the accent was I felt like if I got out of line, which I would most certainly as her boyfriend, she'd be strangling me in the middle of the night like I was one of the bad guys in Munich, basically. I didn't feel... I felt like she would assassinate me for me just being a good old-fashioned dickbag.
Also, the Krav Maga black belt Mossad agent and the guy who's screaming with puppets isn't the world's greatest combination.
Yeah, no. This wasn't gonna last. She didn't have any humor. That's the thing. So yeah.
What kind of jacket did she have on?
Jacket?
Yeah, was it a jean jacket?
It's possible.
Because apparently jean jackets were your downfall that evening. You tried to put on several people's jean jackets because you had a jean jacket.
Oh, I had a beautiful jean jacket at that point.
In the process, destroyed their jackets with puppet water, which irritated a lot of people.
Well, then fucking hang up your goddamn jean jacket. If there's 9,000 jean jackets scattered about, how the hell am I supposed to know which one is which? I gotta try them on.
It's amazing. 20 years apart, you make the same argument. You made the exact same argument on air that day. You're like, there's too many denim jackets.
That's not my fault.
No, keep it on your
Mark
jacket.
your goddamn jacket better if it's a big deal. It's not like I fucking try your jacket on and goddamn throw it in the garbage. I put it right back where I found it. I'm fired up now. You accuse me of trying to steal your goddamn jean jacket? I ain't the lead singer of the Strokes. I don't need a jean jacket to survive. Just so happened that it was chilly that night and I wanted my jacket. That happened to be a jean jacket.
Why not, right?
I'm not some jean jacket, some fucking denim tuxedo thief.
And you didn't steal any. You just destroyed them by putting them on with the puppet still in hand and getting the water
their
over
fault.
it. Yeah, I'm not here to judge.
Jackets.
But we find out that at the end of the party, Roberto's missing.
Oh, this fucking Roberto. This little guy, the love of my life, was taken. I know exactly where you're going with this one.
Take me into that mindset. You're there.
Panic, horror, anxiety.
Well, hang on, before we get there, it's the end of the party. It's been a great night. You got the Jewish bartender's number. You're not going to hit her up. But Israeli. I think they're the same, right?
Oh.
I didn't mean that disrespectfully, but
no, I mean, well,
yeah.
You'd only be offending her.
Yeah, well, and
I mean, she's
she'll
not
kill
here,
me, and
so.
she'll kill me. And you just explained how deadly she was, so
I'm pretty sure she's not listening.
Well, you never know.
I'm going to find that red-headed guy who I randomly met 16 years ago and make sure to listen to his podcast.
See if he talks about me.
See if he badmouths me.
That would be great if you do get a DM.
Yes,
like, hey, I still work there.
So the party went well, yeah.
So you're there. Then you
Great
go,
time.
okay, time to get out of here. Where's Roberto?
Yeah, I was in horror and I was in shock and I was distressed.
How long did it take you to realize he was missing? Or stolen
I looked
versus
around for 2
misplaced?
hours. It ruined the night. It ruined my buzz. Then I went and I went back the next day, and just to make sure, with sober eyes, and has anyone seen it? No goddamn puppet. And I was very upset by this.
You explained the same thing on air because you had received a ransom note that day that basically said no payoff, no puppet.
No payoff, no puppet. I guess the fucking David Blaine thing that we just discussed was a figment of our goddamn imagination.
Which is curious, right? Because you had just done that.
Thief. Fantasy radio producer, thief.
Yeah. Well, we don't know who it was yet.
No.
The audience, though. I mean, we know.
I thought it was Mikey D.
Well, you did on air that day, too. He was one of your main suspects because
that somebody still works, baby.
As somebody called in, named the Puppet Master, you were asking questions.
I thought it was Mikey D because I told the guys, I said, hey, guys, thanks for fucking up Runaway by Del Shannon. This wasn't about how hard you could play the drums and the guitar. It's a stupid-ass song that was supposed to be sung by a puppet.
Well,
so that's why I thought Mikey D took the puppet, because I sort of told them, you guys, your band fucking blew it.
That was one of the reasons you thought it was him. Also, his lady was wearing a denim jacket that had been destroyed by Roberta's puppet water that night. And
she should have put her name tag on her goddamn coat.
The only person who may have hated Roberto more than Ron and Paul O is Lil Lene. Lene
Why?
hated Roberto.
Oh.
So the first time Lene met Roberto was at a birthday
Kids
party.
usually like puppets.
Yeah, and he got booked to perform at a birthday party for Lene and some childhood star.
To perform at a birthday party?
It might have been the first time, though, that he didn't get a laugh. The kids turned on the puppet. They really didn't like
that's
it.
typical for any birthday party that he performed on. The kids usually do turn on him, throw things at him, but yeah, continue.
And
She didn't like him. Oh, right. She had an on-air birthday party on the show.
yeah, and he performed.
He performed
and
at the birthday party. She hated him.
she hated him. All the other kids hated him. It was fun radio for me because I enjoyed them hating it. But then Roberto and you had a chance to bury the hatchet with Lene because she was doing her anniversary special. It was her 50th episode. It was a big deal.
Oh.
And Mikey D hit the gang up and was like, "Can you guys, give her a nice little voice message?"
Oh, that's nice.
And Dave and Roberto could not.
Uh-oh.
The first thing it was like, we hate you, Lene. And Ron was like, no, I just want to do this and get it over with. And then both you and Roberto gave your best efforts, and it just wasn't there yet.
All the time that you guys are worrying about it takes us 2 seconds. You ready, Earl? Roll the tape. I want to see a tape machine actually rolling. I want to see physical tape. Hi, it's Ron and Fez from XM Satellite Radio. Lene, congratulations to you.
Way to go, Blackie Huge Hands.
50 shows. We're so proud of you, honey. 50 shows.
Now get out there and start collecting those cans.
All right, go with that one. You might want to cut out the can part at the end.
Leave it.
And now let's do the same thing with Dave and Roberto.
Hey, Roberto, it's Lene's 50th anniversary special. Tell her to go screw off.
All right, do it nicely, please. I don't want to spend all day doing this.
Hey, I'm Eastside Dave, and I'm Roberto. Happy 50th anniversary. And Ron would be like, it's not the anniversary, it's the 50th. And just
okay.
took a bunch of time, and then it eventually ended with you guys, I'm pretty sure, just shitting on Lene. So you definitely thought it was Mikey D. You saw some pictures from the backyard. He was one of your suspects. Why did Roberto not like Lene? Was it just that she didn't like him?
Mikey D.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the suspect at the time. It wasn't anything personal with Lene, but she was the offspring of Mikey D. And there was always the D. Snyder haircut. And, the overplaying of the drums, the loudness, and the fact that he wanted to overshadow the lead singer, which was a puppet that needed to be heard. And so that is why I thought Mikey D was the guy, because he had already exhibited that he was jealous of Roberto.
And how could you not be?
All right. He tried to outshine, and he did. He outshined Roberto during Roberto's fucking song. Did I tell you it was Runaway by Del Shannon?
You did.
Okay.
Another suspect you had was Alki.
Irish Alki.
Irish Alki.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Ron gave him a pass and was like, I'm telling you, it couldn't have been him. He was too drunk.
I thought maybe, but with Alki, it would have been less. It wouldn't have been anger. It would have been more of a fun little "I'm fucking with you" type of thing.
And you pointed that out. You were like, it looks like his backyard. I was hanging out with them last weekend. You know what I mean? At their place.
Yeah.
So clearly you had a relationship where that would have been more jokey.
That was
less.
more of a fun thing.
But
Mikey D, I was accusing out of anger. Alki was more of, all right, maybe I'm just getting joshed around with here.
Then the puppet master calls in. The guy, he gives the email. It's Evod was the name he used. And you're like, oh, that's Dave backwards. And he goes, oh, you figured it out, whiz kid. And that was the immediate minute I knew who took your puppet. When he was like, all I want you to do is do a bit that pays off. I went, oh, I know what piece of shit has Roberto. I know what untalented, jealous fuck has Roberto at this point. But we're not there yet.
Okay.
So he calls in. He's like, I want you to do a bit that has a payoff. And you instantly go, he met David Blaine.
It's fucking just had an enormous payoff, and the bit really did go well.
Yeah.
Ron and Fez liked it as well. Like when Ron Bennington, like they liked it a lot.
It shouldn't have.
And so it was a massive, big payoff. So, hey, fucking moron thief, your timing sucks. Maybe you need to figure out how to come up with better bits and better payoffs. That's my thinking.
I would agree with that. I also would say...
I'm still not pleased with the person who stole my goddamn puppet.
No, none of us are. No one likes who stole your puppet. And it has not so much to do with who stole the puppet, but just their personality in general. But what I'm saying, I'm picking beefs with somebody I've never even met.
Yeah, you never met this person.
Yeah, just listened to him for years and hated it. Anyway, so that was one of the suspects, Mikey D. The puppet master calls in. You get into it. David Blaine, we also should acknowledge the fact that it should not have worked out. Roberto, the plan was never like, oh, we're going to do this and then I'm going to meet David Blaine. It was just such a good bit that even David Blaine recognized that it was a good bit and brought him up.
It's
so
a puppet on the radio.
It worked out great.
Can you just shush to the guy who stole it? Can you just shush your little face? It's not the biggest thing. I don't understand. You know why? This was just someone who thought, well, I'll fuck with Dave.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. It was if you hadn't forgotten Roberto, you would have forgotten. He would have fucked with you somehow that night. He went there with the sole intention
that I was using to perform with on the air. I'm sorry if I'm not a fucking entertained by this fucking asshole who decided to steal it. It was never funny to me.
The first thing he tells you to do, and again, this should have been.
How about him give me a fucking payoff? Because as far as I'm concerned, he didn't fucking pay off shit.
And I don't think you intentionally did this, but you kind of threw that energy at him where you're like, well, what do you want me to do? Come up with a bit. And he was like, well, why don't you eat 12 hot dogs in 4 minutes? Yeah,
that's great.
And
I'm going to eat 12 hot dogs. Okay, that's a great bit. Now let's put on our radios, everyone, and Dave's going to sit here and eat 12 hot dogs. Here, I'm going to approximate this great bit that fuckface Hosp fucking threw out there. Because let's just stop dancing around
it's
with
Hosp.
it.
Yeah.
Hosp stole my fucking puppet.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hosp, here's what Hosp's fucking great radio bit would sound like. Ready? All right, that's one hot dog. Now going in for hot dog number 2. I'll tell you what, this one maybe needs a little relish. That's great fucking radio. That shit is great. To eat, goddamn, sit down and eat 12 fucking hot dogs. That's why fucking producer wannabe Hosp was never hired by any goddamn radio station in the fucking universe, nor will he ever be, because of fucking shitty ass ideas. Because as you can see, I'm still a little bit fucking ticked off that he stole my fucking property. I didn't get a fucking apology from that boring asshole. I didn't get shit.
Neither did the thousands of Ron and Fez fans, Dave.
Yeah, all he did was take my fucking pub and
we're getting ahead of ourselves, though. I don't want you save this anger. We're getting ahead of ourselves because you initially you were going to raise funds to get Roberto back.
Yes.
You thought there was a ransom. You thought that was the payoff he meant.
Hosp was not giving. I didn't know who did it, but whoever it was, and it's Hosp, was not giving the puppet back. And then talk about not paying off a bit. He was just eliminating a character and a sketch that I had in my back pocket for the Ron and Fez show.
Yeah.
He was just taking that off the cards for me, for Ron Bennington, for Fez Watley, as an option to go to something.
Absolutely.
And nothing was happening. Nothing. The puppet just fucking disappeared. Fucking payoff? That guy had nothing.
Absolutely.
Except stealing someone's property.
But you were going to pay him. You were raising money. And then Ron goes, what are you doing negotiating with terrorists? Somebody took your property and you're giving him money for it? You're like, well, I'll give him more. And so you kind of wavered.
He wasn't giving it back. And I wanted to fucking perform on the radio with my fucking puppet again.
And so you were going to do it. You weren't. Then you decided the hot dogs was stupid. We all agree it's a bad bit. Good call.
Great bit. Hot
Eventually, Hosp calls in.
How about this? Here's another Hosp idea. Okay, forget about the hot dogs. How about he tries on 24 pairs of socks? Let's see if he can try on 24 pairs of socks in 45 minutes. And if he can complete this task, I'll give him back his puppet. I'm Hosp, the most boring human being of all time. Goodbye.
I feel like you usually give him more of a Connery. I'm Hosp.
I'm Hosp, the gay Sean Connery.
There it is.
Good evening.
But
hi, my name is Hosp. Yeah, but his voice is actually, it's not as masculine.
You're doing a better impression,
as Sean Connery.
But we are getting ahead. So he eventually gets you to do a power hour where you get drunk, and during the power hour, Because again, what an original idea! A power hour on the Ron and Fez show.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's never happened
that's
before.
Not his, yeah,
it was
that's
even
not
your
his
second
idea.
attempt.
Yeah,
That's my
it
point.
was my second attempt.
Yeah. It wasn't.
So Haas's ideas are other just repackaging Ron and Fez ideas.
Do that thing we did before. Yeah.
That's
But
his idea.
During the
Hey, remember that thing you guys did? That was really great. Just do that. That's me producing.
during the power hour, Paulo calls in. And you think he may have something to do with it because apparently Roberto and Paulo did not get along. How did you feel about Paul?
I like Paulo.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why Roberto would have an issue.
Roberto
except,
did not.
well, I suppose there was one little point where I was feuding with Paulo because he had put me in his movie Gap, and I was at the beginning, but I thought I was going to be the star of the film. And he put me in the beginning, and then that was it. And so, as I also consider myself one of the finer actors in America. And
certainly
so
in that film.
This goddamn director fucked me over. I wasn't pleased with him, but I'm not sure if
he
this
hadn't
was,
even cast you at this point. Believe it or not,
I'm not
yet.
sure if this was.
Yeah,
it.
he was.
I
It was still in
Paulo.
development. Okay, because
Roberto has
did
a
not.
mind of his own.
Yeah.
I can't always control.
The first time they met, Roberto, Paulo was trying to do his movie reviews, and Roberto just would not allow it to happen, and just basically Paulo hung up the phone in utter defeat. Just
Roberto wouldn't let him do the reviews.
he wouldn't, and then Paulo would get mad at Dave, and Dave would point out that it was Roberto, not Dave,
it's not
and then
me.
Paulo would get angrier, and
puppet.
it was a
It's
great
not my
bit.
fault.
But he calls in, and you guys go back and forth a little bit. So I just was just curious what
I
else
like
might have
Paulo.
been
Oh yeah, I like Paulo.
under the table there.
Funny.
And so
Good.
you get very, very close during your power hour.
Yeah, second one. It took me 3 power hours. The second one, I was really, really close. I was in the 50s, right?
57 or 53.
53?
You got 7 away. Yeah.
Shit.
During the process, though, Bronx Johnny comes in, and you point out you think Bronx Johnny might have had something to do
Possible.
with it because this isn't the first time that
Possible.
something happened to Roberto.
And I love Bronx Johnny to this day.
Absolutely.
We still talk.
But you know what Bronx Johnny doesn't love? Puppets.
Doesn't love puppets.
He does not like any puppets. It has
I
nothing to do
remember
with.
a couple times, back in the office after the show, doing a little puppet, to Johnny, not having it. He was like, I don't know, boss. In my religion, puppets are, witchcraft, that kind of thing. I think he thought like puppets are like the work of the devil or something.
I could
because
understand
I don't
that.
know,
Yeah.
He's Ecuadorian and
They don't
they're
like
like
puppets.
hardcore Catholics.
Yeah, they don't like puppets.
Yeah,
I
it
get
was
that.
like, this is so, I don't know, boss. This is so, the puppetry is a little bit satanic for my taste. Making inanimate objects talk. That ain't right, boss.
And he made his opinion clear, and I think that rubbed Roberto the wrong way because then Roberto made some. Normally, as you pointed out, Roberto's jokes were what? I'm small. I like small things.
Nice, fun little jokes.
Sometimes when Roberto gets angry at a certain group of people, he makes
listen.
jokes about them.
Listen, listen, again, it's a much different time. And as you pointed out, I was under the influence here. Correct?
Oh yeah. And
This is the power hour still?
To be clear, these jokes could still fly today. Like I could put the
okay.
clips in. They aren't that. They're just
Thank
mocking.
God.
But you weren't sure if it was him or an intern, but somebody cut his head off. Do you remember? They just left Roberto's head all mutilated in the office. And so when Johnny came in, you accused him of stealing Roberto as well. What was any beef behind the scenes with Roberto and Johnny at all? Or how about the intern?
I don't recall who the intern would be at that point, but I usually got along with the interns. But
I think it was an O&A intern, believe it or not.
Oh, well, then,
he was
maybe.
accused of rubbing his butt on some of Anthony's stuff, so that's where you were suspicious.
Oh my God, what a
Yeah.
little freak!
Yeah.
Rubbing his butt on stuff.
That was the accusation. I don't know if there was any.
No, but as far as Roberto and Johnny, I think they ironed it out. They worked stuff out.
Johnny doesn't seem to hold a grudge.
No.
So well, that's good to know. So you get there, you're so close. Ron makes you think about diarrhea or something, and 53 you puke.
Yeah.
And
That's what a shame. We should probably do some power hour episode.
we will definitely have one of those
That would
coming
be
in.
good.
Yeah, we may even have to do that.
Okay, that's what I just said.
There was one other suspect I had.
Yeah.
That I thought, and Ron kind of seemed to back me up here from Jump Street. He went, Dave, did you steal this puppet? Is this a bit?
Me?
Is this a work, Dave?
No.
Are you hiding the puppet? And
I
here's
wasn't.
why the strongest case of why I think you could believe that.
Okay.
You were at the time, and several times throughout this, the name Billy Staples gets brought up. You were talking to Billy Staples.
Sure.
Billy Staples is best known in the Ron and Fez and Opie and Anthony universe for going to Red Bank, New Jersey.
Right.
To open for Jim Norton.
I was at that show.
Gets booed off the stage.
This is the second time Red Bank, New Jersey came up. I was at the Dublin House before I went over to the show.
Seems like nothing good happens in Red Bank. But Billy Staples didn't do well.
Orange ball of failure.
The classic orange ball of failure.
Yeah, he was the orange ball of failure.
Left.
He looked like a creamsicle. And got fucking mocked and booed relentlessly like Jim Morrison in Miami in 1968 when he pulled his dick out and the fans turned on him.
I know this is
what happened with Billy.
Even worse than that.
It was one of those type of nights.
I know this isn't technically satellite, but he went on stage. Voss brought him up. He got booed off the stage. Voss calmed the crowd down a little bit. Was like, all right, we'll give him another shot. They booed him off the stage again.
Yeah, I was there.
I'm sure you were part of it.
I was there.
You were part of the horse.
I wasn't booing.
Ron and Fez worked that so well. Like,
I wasn't booing.
Got all of their fans there ready to go.
I mean, I just think it was a natural.
Yeah,
some of it was organic.
I get that. Yeah, and mob psychology, right?
Yeah.
But he then just kept driving. He did not go back to New York to the Ron and Fez show. He drove straight to New Jersey and disappeared for about a week.
Oh, right.
So now we presented Roberto, performed at a Ron and Fez function. It did not go well, and now he's disappeared for a week.
So this is you coming up with this philosophy, this theory?
I honestly thought you might have been just mocking Billy Staples.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Again,
no.
If you look at it the whole time, Roberto's taking veiled shots at all these celebrities. You're not really taking shots at. It felt like
so Roberto had some fucking meltdown, and now he's on a bender in Atlantic City?
Something like that. And if you leave a puppet in water, what happens? It gets fat and bloated. Does that sound like anybody?
Well, Billy Staples, yes.
So I thought
it also sounds like maybe you've gone crazy, and you sound like one of those guys with the red yarn in the basement with the pictures and the thumbtacks and the insanity.
Been spending a lot of time with Jared.
What goes on in these tales from the satellite meetings, and I can never be a part of them.
No, you cannot.
Because I know you guys talk for 3 hours just to prep this show. By the way, shout out to Robert Tamburo, Jared Fishman, a.k.a. Jedi Jared on Yaddle Channel, and the Ron and Fez archivist.
Yeah, for coming up with this. And they did a lot of the research and clipping and some of the graphics you'll see. So
it's a team effort.
100%.
I do nothing except start talking as soon as Robert gets here. And then I impatiently ask Robert to leave once we're done talking. That's my responsibility.
Sometimes.
This is the only show that I've ever done that for. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Show Prep. It's nice fucking doing a show where you don't have to fucking do anything. I got nothing here.
I enjoy it.
It's wonderful.
I enjoy you in your natural habitat too.
Yeah, so do I. Can we start doing that on all the other shows?
So you get Hosp comes in after
Hosp.
you puke.
The gay Sean Connery.
Hi, Dave. I'm Hosp.
Okay, so what about
I just
Hosp?
got done sucking a cock, and then I came in, and I'm Hosp.
I'm Hosp.
So he comes in, he's mocking you, and you kind of point out some of the things you did, not with the same intensity here, but that you did do the David Blaine sketch. That this wasn't.
So this is him admitting?
He comes into studio and points out that he was the puppet master. He also goes...
And he admits it did give back the puppet?
He did not. He said he was keeping it, you failed, and you told me that you eventually were able to get it back. Was this on air that day, or did it happen later on?
This is the closest I felt to really almost getting into a fight. He comes in, he says there was no payoff. It's all his bit. He fucking stole my fucking puppet. So now, asshole, you're in charge. You have to come up with the ending of the bit since you have the fucking puppet, dick.
Also,
And instead, he comes and says, not only does he say, Dave failed, he has no payoff, when he's the failure, but B, he actually doesn't give my property back. He didn't actually give me my fucking puppet that day. I swear to God. What if he's what a fucking delusional, unfun, just boring schmuck.
What's supposed to happen with a power hour? You're
By the
not.
way, I think I saw him recently at the Fez tribute. So he's a nice guy. We don't have anything. I have no more issues with him, by the way. I'm just,
okay,
I'm going to
then-
get fired up during Tales from the Satellite. And I'm going to put myself back in the emotional space that I was at.
That makes sense.
Because that's how we have to do this show. Otherwise, I won't remember anything. So once I start putting myself emotionally back into the state, then, I'm able to remember shit. But then also, I start getting pissed off for real. I mean, it's 2023. I can give a shit about Hosp anymore. Just for the record, I fucking don't care. But we're doing this show. I'm gonna get fucking fired up and live in the moment. You got a problem with that?
No, if we're not mad at Hosp anymore, we're gonna have to change the next episode. Different topic. No. So he comes in, he doesn't give you the puppet. And my point is this: if you do a power hour, what is the payoff supposed to be? The guy puking or pissing himself? Like, the failure is the payoff. You're not supposed to succeed at it. Right?
He didn't give me the puppet because I failed at the power hour.
Yeah, he said that was a payment, or that was the bit that you were supposed to pay off, and you failed, so you didn't pay off the bit. And my point is, you threw up.
This fucking guy.
That's the payoff.
This goddamn thief.
So you said you eventually were able to wrestle it back.
Are you allowed to contact the NYPD retroactively? And well, then, you know what? Let's not go there.
I think the statute of limitations. Yeah.
Statute of limitations. You know what? Let's forgive and forget.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I saw the guy. I'm not mad at him anymore, but I'll tell you what, in 2006 or 7, furious. Because, I mean, listen to what you're saying. It's like, hey, I just decided to fuck with this person's job, their career, their capacity to entertain, one of their sketches, one of their bits, and I'm going to be a dick about it. And I'm still not going to give him his fucking puppet back. And I'm the fucking guy, and I'm the heel? I'm the fucking heel? Shit.
And that was actually something we wanted to get into a little bit here before we move on to what ultimately happened to Roberto and his legacy. Is a lot of the suspects were just assholes from the message board.
Not Elke. He's no longer
Elke.
with us.
No, not him. No. Mainly Mikey D and Hosp. Those would be the points.
I saw Mikey D at the Fizz thing too. It was great to see him.
They're good people now, and it's all moved on. But at the time,
yeah, I should say that me, Mikey D, and Bronx Johnny, of all things, did like the tour together.
That's awesome,
and it was fantastic.
But
so I'm not mad.
But
I'm going to live in the moment on Tales of the Satellite. Otherwise, what are we doing here?
And at the time, those guys were kind of jerks and overstepped bounds a lot.
They were overstepping boundaries with me.
With you, yeah. I mean, they wouldn't have done that to Ron.
No.
Right. And
they wouldn't have done that to Fez, and if they did, they would be fucking wrong.
Yeah.
What would they do? Steal Ron's coat?
No.
Steal fucking Fez's glasses?
Yeah.
Like that's their property. Where's the bit?
Right. And so this was a question that actually Jared kind of came up with. At the time, you let these, mainly the assholes, kind of be a part of it. Was that so that there was a natural heel that wasn't one of the members of the show? Like, hey, we can make, not that we can, we're going to turn the audience on Mikey D.
I think there was hope
if he's in
that
here fighting.
Hosp's bit, which had a good first day.
It did.
Because there was a picture and there was like next to the newspaper.
Yeah.
The problem was the subsequent 30 days following that, he had absolutely nothing.
Just shit.
And I think that there was probably a very false hope that he could somehow be creative enough to continue with some twists and turns and angles in the bit. But dullards who are not creative and who don't work within the entertainment industry don't have the capacity to do that. And Hosp was one of those non-creative types. So he wasn't able to fucking figure out how to keep this thing going. We were under the delusion that maybe he'll do something interesting. And then when that didn't happen, I think Ron might have been the one to say, give him back his puppet.
And then you got it back. And he was with you for how long before he decided to be your tag team partner?
Well, Roberto then was with me for a while, and then are we going to get into the demise of why he's no longer with us, walking the earth?
We're not going to get into too many of the details, but basically it was at the Big Ass Bash.
Well, I mean, I think it's very important because it's the only time that Roberto, had got to see 800 people. We sold out the Hard Rock, and we had the Big Ass Bash, me versus the Midnight Rider. Tag team, me and my partner versus the Midnight Rider and his partner.
Okay.
And in order to do that, we had to do some promos and shit. For my promo, I brought out Roberto.
I think we're going to have
Everyone
that
was
in
extremely excited to see him. Everyone was happy, clapping. I believe Chris Pepper Stanley handed him to me, and everyone, oh, he's all excited. And then during the match, my wrestling partner, was in trouble. And so, when your wrestling partner's in trouble, a tag team, you lean over the top rope and try to tag him. Yeah. I thought I could get a few extra feet by leaning over the top rope with Roberto and extending his arm.
Smart.
So that would give us an extra,
foot and a half at least.
Yeah, foot and a half.
Yeah.
Foot and a half. And so Roberto would get the tag legal under wrestling rules because Roberto was a part of me.
Yeah. Kind of like Hornsmoggle.
The wrestlers who we were competing against took Roberto. And after hitting me in the throat and dropping a leg on my head, and I was out to lunch, I rolled out, they then decided to take aim at Roberto. They body slammed him, I believe dropped either an elbow or a leg, and then smashed his head into a million pieces and threw him out into the crowd. And that was the end of Roberto. And I was just as pissed about that as I was with Hosp. Because the fucking wrestlers went into business for themselves. These fucking lunkheads, they don't know what the fuck, if this thing goes with this guy everywhere.
Yeah.
What would you fucking wrestle Jake the Snake Roberts and take out an axe and chop up Damien?
No.
His snake into a million pieces?
No.
Like, what are you doing? That's my fucking puppet. You just saw me do a promo with the goddamn puppet. So they smashed his head into a million pieces, threw him out into the crowd. That was it. Never saw him again.
You can destroy a puppet, but you can't destroy the impact a puppet has. Because, sure, Roberto's gone, but the legacy he left fuels your shows to today.
That was it.
I mean, we talked about it.
Big Ass Bash was the last time we ever saw him.
Genesis trying to make his way over to top of stick. Oh my God, Davis holding in Ronaldo the dummy, trying to get him to tag the dummy. Watch this. Genesis power slam, just laying out. Don't do it. Davis in the middle of the ring. On top rope, leg drop across the lifeless body of Eastside.
We talked about it a little bit, but we've got Shock Jock, now Sports Master Robot.
Sports Robot.
Right. We've got Lil Davey.
Lil Davey's been a big time puppet for me throughout the years. Love him.
We talked about Chibbles some. We have Chibbles.
Mm-hmm.
How did the puppets continue? Like,
well,
I know
the puppet got destroyed.
Yeah, I know Lil Davey was a gift.
And I think they wanted to maybe keep going with an occasional puppet act. So I had to get my backups.
So, obviously, we had Chibbles, and his joke was chips.
Yeah, lots of chips.
Did you go find Chibbles, or was he a gift to you?
Who's his favorite baseball player? Chipper Jones. What's weird is he's a clown, so I don't know why I went with the chip thing. You'd think I would have done more like,
I just like clowning around.
Now, if we were going to go with Bobby's theory that you're using puppets to mock people that you're not really supposed to, if only there was a big prominent person who had a character named Chip.
Oh my God. You think I was mocking Jim Norton?
I could see that.
No.
A creepy little clown.
I think there's a chance Chipples is before.
There's a good chance. Yeah, I'm not good at.
Yeah,
I'm not good
if you check the timeline.
I don't know the O&A timeline as well as I do the R&A.
I think Chipples might be before Chip.
So maybe the other way around.
Oh,
I think Norton owes you some money.
That's okay. We can allow that.
We don't know who inspired Chip. Everybody thought it was Opie. Turns out it's the fucking clown. What would you say was your favorite moment with Chipples?
When I go to bed at night and I just, he and I kind of look at each other, and sometimes I jerk off and, he doesn't have to cover his eyes. Do you mean favorite moment on the air?
On
or-
the air. I
on
should
the
have
air. I'm
clarified.
sorry.
I apologize.
Sorry.
I wasn't going to stop
God.
you while you were on a roll.
That was a hosp-like embarrassing confession then.
I'm a hosp. I jerked off in front of a clown. I'm a hosp.
Favorite thing with Chipples was, I don't know. Chipples, he only did a couple things, I think. So I would say just one of the probably the first time.
Okay. And then Cheeksy. Do you remember Cheeksy?
No. Cheeksy?
Yeah.
Well, explain. Do you know what Cheeksy looks like?
I do not. I was told that you had a puppet named Cheeksy.
Cheeksy.
Like cheeks. To
I
be
know.
clear, not like a noise it makes or something out of a piece of armor.
It's possible I had a puppet named Cheeksy. I can't remember Cheeksy. That's probably a Jared Fishman fucking note that, you know him. The brain's not always working.
I get that. That was a deep one.
Yeah, I don't know Cheeksy.
I like the fact that I didn't realize Oldie was the same.
Oldie and Smeagol are the same guy. Yeah.
But it was very cool. Oldie came back on the Eastside Dave show for a while and was friends with Big A.
Yeah. He's just a fun guy, you know? I mean, he's got the beautiful white hair there. You could see in the mustache and beard, beautiful blue eyes, very much like Paul Newman.
Yeah.
But then, receding hairline up top.
My hairline.
You're just your classic Friar Tuck look right there.
And then Oldie, still classic, still around. Yeah. But probably, I would say to this day, your most well-known puppet, Bobo's boyfriend.
Lil Davey.
Has
entered the Davey Mac world, the Davey Mac Cinemac universe, as people are calling it now. And he's one of my favorites because of great mouth action. In order to
that's why Bobo loves him too.
In order to have a
great
good
mouth
absolutely,
action.
Because he can go down, nice and slow. Down, nice and slow. He can also go up.
Nice and fast.
So if you're ever, if you're in the car and you got to get finished quickly, he'll go up fast on you like a woodpecker. Or if you're in a bathtub and you want to take your time, Lil Davey can go like that. But look at the mouth action on Lil Davey.
Hi, everybody. Let's have a good time. Does anybody have any guns? Any guns around? Let's have a good time today. Bang, bang.
So, that's him.
Where did you get Lil Davey?
Lil Davey was given to me as a gift. He was bought for me by a listener. I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Okay.
That's sad. I should know. Thanks a lot. Thanks for making me feel bad.
Well,
if you were the one who bought Lil Davey, I thank you. So does he.
And why did he become so affectionate for Bobo?
I think he was sitting next to Bobo one time.
And that's just...
And he was one of the very few people/puppets who thought Bobo actually smelled good.
Interesting.
So there was, an instant attraction between the both.
Just out of,
Yeah.
And
they have lots of fun, these two, Lil Davey and Bobo.
There is one last puppet we wanted to ask you some questions about. One of the legacies. And it was actually a gift from a listener, Dr. Steve.
Oh, I think I know which puppet you're talking about. Jivey!
Of course. Jivey.
Oh, beautiful, wonderful African-American puppet that I loved so much. Had a nice little hairdo.
Me have a lot of questions about Jivey.
A lot of questions about Jivey.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
Specifically, let's start with the most obvious one. Why did Dr. Steve have a Jivey to give to you?
I think he bought it. I don't think because I believe he was in a box.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fresh. This was a brand new puppet.
Okay, so he sent you out of the box, brand new. And
Yeah, brand new.
Did he just think the puppets needed some diversity?
Yeah, Roberto, obviously Latino, and then of course Oldie, clearly a Caucasian / monkey. And then, let's have a black, an African-American inclusion.
Okay.
And then Jivey filled that role. So it was fun. It was like superheroes.
That makes sense. I was, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Steve. He's helped me with some medical things, and I enjoy his show as well. Yeah.
You still got that drip?
Nope, not anymore.
He fixed it, didn't he?
Yeah. But He is from the South, so we were curious if
Yeah.
that's what he was going for. And
He's from the South, so what are you saying? He wanted me to
sometimes
lynch
they
my
like,
puppet?
well, no, like they like to parodize certain aesthetics of cultures, in the South more than the North.
So for you, I think sometimes you think there's always another level or two underneath what's happening.
That might be the case
I mean,
sometimes.
that could be your THC consumption too.
It could also be the fact that we're doing a show about puppets. There's not much beyond the surface level. But
I don't choose the fucking episodes.
No.
I'm enjoying myself today.
Absolutely, and the reason
And
it
I'm
continues.
not going to let myself get fired up and then I'm going to be thinking about, I'm fine with Hosp. I don't want some goddamn, he's mad. No one's mad. It's 2023. The whole point of doing this show is so much time has passed. I feel like a totally different person.
It's fun to look back on,
I mean,
yeah.
We're talking about stuff, we're literally talking about shows 15, 16, 17 years ago.
And-
but I did make a promise to Tales from the Satellite audience. You will never hear any bad-mouthing of Ronnie B. or Fez Watley, but I will be living in the moment, and I will try to be as fired up as I was back in the day. Because otherwise, it's just boring shit. So,
Well, hang on.
I'm cool with Hosp.
I'm glad you're cool with us, but we're getting away from Jivey, and it's his time.
Fucker, yeah.
So, the other question I have is Ron and Fez.
Wonderful people.
We're very progressive in a lot of sentences. Or let me say that again without stuttering like a moron. Ron and Fez were very progressive in a lot of senses.
Instances, not sentences.
In senses, in a lot of senses.
Okay.
One of which was the white people are so scared of black people. Anytime there was a racist line, you know what I mean? And Ron genuinely seems to jump on any of the real racist stuff and not allow it. But he allowed Jivey to fly.
Well, what's racist about Jivey?
And that was going to be my question, actually, is I laughed so hard when he did all of the black jokes about the color black. Like, I like wearing black thing. And it was that. I thought that was the funniest way you could have gone with it. You didn't do a stereotypical voice, or he wasn't a gangster robbing people.
Yeah.
Was it the brilliance of doing it that way that Ron made it, allowed it to fly, or was it? Because it seemed like
did an over the top Ebonics thing,
right?
Then that would have been deemed a little.
And you're smart enough at this point to know not to do that. But just I think it seemed like a lot of those subjects they'd stay away from. It was cool that they allowed you to kind of go down that path some with Jivey, which I just was curious why that one in particular. Yeah. And one of the theories we had was the main person that Jivey pissed off was Earl Douglas.
Oh my God! Why? Why would he have a problem with Jivey?
Probably because it was a black member of the radio show who was actually working.
Well, I don't see goddamn Chris Pepper still.
Yeah, it was but he actually would get mad at Jivey. He didn't like you doing Jivey. He would get frustrated. It would escalate.
Like what I'm saying is, you see Chris Pepper Stanley getting mad at one of my Caucasian puppets, and then he takes offense to it. I mean, come on, this was a specific character. Jivey is a specific, wonderful African American puppet, not to be confused with Reggie. He's new.
Reggie's awesome.
Bought me Reggie. I love this guy. He's got a nice little suit on. He's a brand new one for me. Again, great mouth action.
Hey, blood, my name is Reggie. Woo! We gonna celebrate. We gonna do all kinds of things and have a good party tonight. Who's gonna party with Reggie?
You know, that kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, Earl would be upset at that.
He would get mad.
He would get mad at that.
Yeah, he wouldn't like
At that?
Yeah, and
At Reggie?
but let's be honest, it didn't take a lot to get Earl angry, did it?
No.
It didn't take a lot to escalate Earl to violence.
The goddamn fucking, Queen Strangler.
And
Earl Douglas. Watch out. Watch your fucking throats. Make sure you have one of those neck braces on. Otherwise, Chokey McChokerson is going to do some damage.
And make sure you have your we were so close. We had almost finished. And make sure you wear your neck brace next episode of Tales from the Satellite.
We're not ending yet.
As we get into that story.
Are we ending?
No, I'm just pointing out that is where we are headed to next. We're going to do a quick wrap up, but we are finishing up. We're just about there.
Man,
this
flew by.
Any final thoughts on puppets? Anything we missed? Anyone you want to talk about in particular?
I want to talk about me, Reggie. I got 50 bones on the Boston Celtics to come back and defeat the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals and if I do, I'm gonna win $7,000. Come on, Boston. I just need you to win Game 6, Daddy. I just need this one. $7,000 gonna go a long way, baby. A long way indeed. Gonna get me a Cadillac. You think that's racist? Like that little performance right there with Reggie and, his automobile choice and the fact that he's got money on a basketball game? Because, honestly, I do.
I closed my eyes and I saw
have money on
my
the
Uncle
goddamn
Tommy.
Celtics.
It sounded like my Uncle Tommy, so no, not at all.
I told you when the Celtics were down 3-0, I went to fucking Monmouth Park, the sports book, and I put $100 on him.
Nice.
They come back and win this series. I'm in the money. I'm in the money.
That was...
me and Reggie gonna go to Red Lobster.
That one might have been a little racist. The Red Lobster line might have done it. No. Just the Red Lobster line in general.
I was hoping you weren't going to hear it. The way you looked at me at first, I didn't think you heard it. So I was like, good, we could just move on. But I love all these puppets.
One last question, and I'm glad you do. Before we get out of here. The last question, because you do love all the puppets.
Unforgettable. I like singing, too.
Which was your favorite?
What's my favorite puppet?
Of all time.
Lil Davey has become my favorite puppet because of the mouth action.
Okay.
As much as I love Roberto, he had the string. Well, he got murdered.
Yeah, past tense.
Big ass
He's
bash.
dead.
He had the little string that you pull in the back to do the mouth, but the problem was the string it wasn't tight. Like the puppet was literally from the 1930s, and so you couldn't really get the string in the mouth, and so it just looked like the WWE announcer Jim Ross. He doesn't move his mouth because he has Bell's palsy. So he just talks like this. Oh my God, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh my God, he just stoned Mr. McMahon. Anyway, that's the way Roberto looked, and I didn't like that he couldn't move his mouth.
I think at one point Ron even said, "You're the only ventriloquist whose puppet's mouth doesn't move, but his does."
Yeah, neither the puppeteer nor the puppet. It's the exact opposite. My fucking mouth moved.
And his did not.
But I mean, look at Lil Davey right there. Look at the goddamn mouth action.
That's pretty impressive.
I just want to thank every single one of you. All you motherfuckers out there for listening to Tales from the Satellite. You motherfuckers! What the fuck are you doing listening to this show? Getting all the secrets, all the behind-the-scenes information? Suck it.
It's the attitude of Lil Davey that we need to work on. The anger. He kind of reminds me of Big Davey.
I was going to say, it feels like sometimes Lil Davey says things Big Davey's thinking but doesn't want to say.
Yeah. I swear to God, I fucking swear to God, Hosp, you come around to this fucking house and try to abduct me, I'm gonna give a 32 fucking aluminum Easton baseball bat onto your fucking kneecap. You understand me? You just try to abduct me, you motherfucker.
So Lil
Davey decides to threaten. But again, we're all good in 2023. The whole point of this show is everyone's happy. We get along. We have a good time, and we're having fun.
Reflecting back on something we all miss.
That's right. And there were feuds, and there was rivalries, and there was anger. But now, having done this, I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm not holding on to the Roberto kidnapping anger that I had been holding on to for 17 years. Which is a sad fucking amount of time to be holding on to something.
That is a sad amount of anger.
Now I feel good. This has been a cathartic experience for me.
And it's pretty impressive. We'll see how much your anger assuades as we talk about getting choked out by Black Earl.
Oh!
That's
episode 3?
I believe that's going to be episode 3.
Episode 3 is about me getting choked out by Black Earl Douglas?
A genuine lazy bum.
Oh my gosh! That's going to be exciting. So we're back to the controversy.
Back.
We had some controversy in episode 1. Today was a let-up episode, nice and nice and light.
Except
Except for the
informative.
7 to 10 times that I went off on some crazy ass fucking tangent, like a fucking a 45-year-old man who's this upset about puppets should probably be seeking psychiatric evaluation as we speak. I probably shouldn't be pointing the finger at Hosp. I should be looking in the mirror and getting help ASAP.
Brock's Johnny would point out anybody with a puppet should probably be getting help ASAP. I'll be honest, Dave. I was not a fan of puppets in
Son of a
entertainment,
bitch.
but working with you and Lil Davey and Sports Robot has really changed my opinion on it. That said,
You never liked Sesame Street or Fraggle Rock or Muppet Show?
Sesame Street was okay. I
about
liked
Muppet Show?
the human actors.
Yeah. Anything for the Muppets?
The issue I had with the Muppets, I didn't like them as people. Like Mrs. Piggy's a cunt. Like, let's be honest, nobody wants to deal with her. And the frog
she's
puts
a
up with
prima
her.
donna. I wouldn't,
It's like Kermit, get a backbone and pimp slap your wife.
He's a
you know?
frog. They don't have backbones.
Exactly,
They're
that's the
fucking,
problem.
Like, flexible. They're made of rubber practically.
We
What
once.
about Gonzo? You never
Gonzo's
heard
awesome.
anybody?
Gonzo's awesome.
Animal?
Animal's okay. I think you're a better drummer. That's my issue with him.
I am pretty talented. I have a painting of Animal on my wall over there. See that?
I do. Wow.
Yeah.
But we did a gig once. I was at a show, and there was a comedian who I thought was doing a guest spot. And why did I think that? Because he had his dummy with him. And then he just sat there and watched the comedy show and never got up and performed, Dave. And
That's awesome. I want to do that.
he came back the next night to hang out and watch again with his dummy. And I spent my entire feature set just going, somebody call the cops on this guy.
That guy's awesome.
Or a terrorist. You don't know. Yeah.
Listen.
that's what makes you so great.
Here's the last thing I'll say about the puppets, which is pretty fun. The time where I was basically asked in a nice way to kind of keep my shit together, or I was not going to be allowed to ride the Academy bus line into New York anymore. That's how I commuted from down here at the Jersey Shore. Is you go to Garden State Parkway, exit 109, take the Academy bus line, which takes you into Penn Station. Okay?
Wow.
And believe it or not, we're not talking some shitty ass fucking NJ Transit bus. We're talking the Academy bus line is nice. Two people who were on the bus: CBS bigwig Vinny Favale,
You and Vinny were hanging out?
who Howard Stern fans would know. He did many appearances on the Howard Stern show. Second one was Carol Miller, WNEW
The
rock
Carol Miller?
goddess legend DJ, who was friendly with Led Zeppelin, and
Yeah.
she gets the lead out. Right. So I'm on that bus, okay? It's an esteemed bus. Manhattan, business people, movers and shakers.
Dude, if that bus crashed, it would have been worse than the day the music died.
So the first time I got on the bus and I actually made people upset, Fez and I had a White Castle eating contest where we had 30 White Castles between us and whoever ate the most. I barely won, but I did. 16-14.
Wow.
I get on the bus. It was like the worst hangover, only you didn't experience the fun night of drinking the night before. And I'm just being honest, I couldn't stop doing gas.
I get that.
The gas was real.
It's what happens
And
when you eat
people
White
knew it was
Castle.
me. The second time that the bus driver had to take me aside and say, you gotta be less scary, is I had Bearded Joker makeup on, and I had all of my puppets in a garbage bag.
Yeah.
It was the puppets that he goes, we can't have this. A couple weeks ago, the passengers were complaining about the smell. And now you're putting a bag of puppets next to you. You're riding with puppets next to you. And he's like, this is a commuter bus for normal people. And we can't have any more incidents. Otherwise, you're not going to be allowed to ride this bus. It was the puppets that fucking put the guy over. He would have preferred me fucking farting out White Castles for an hour than for me to have Chipples and fucking Little Davey and Roberto and Jivey sitting next to me, which was what happened.
Did you pull out and go, why don't you say that to my face, you pussy?
What's wrong with us? What did we ever do? We're willing to pay a fare.
So
I'll leave you with this one.
that was my puppets almost got me banned from Academy buses.
A similar incident, and this will be our last story before we get out of here. We can't do a show about puppets without at least one mention of Otto and George.
Oh God, they're
And,
the best.
there's another comedian who's also a ventriloquist named Gemini who performed with Otto and George. And the difference between Gemini and Otto was Gemini let the puppets go away when the show was over, whereas George just stayed out with Otto and talked shit to Gemini the whole ride until finally Gemini pulled the car over, took George, locked him in the trunk, and then continued driving. Otto is silent the whole way. Finally, Gemini turns around and goes, "Hey, man, everything okay? What's up? You haven't said a word." And he just goes, "It's dark as fuck back here." And I love the idea that you were that same spirit, where the puppets were their own people. They weren't just an extension of you. And thank you.
No, some of them were.
Everything you brought to the table.
But you know what? You're right. They're their own people with their own thoughts and their own feelings and their own homicidal wishes.
Right.
Just like all of us.
And you might say that a lot of them sound like the same voice, just different stages of cold.
No, they're very different to me.
But even if that was true, which it's not.
No. I mean, I don't
the
understand.
Personalities are enough that they are
Roberto
distinct.
is like, "Hey, everybody!" And then little Davey's like,
Hi, everybody.
and then Javi's like,
Hey, everybody.
you
I
know,
think we
mean,
can all
that's
agree
a lot.
Jivey doesn't sound like the rest.
and Chipples is like,
Hi, everybody.
you know, so yeah, they're very different.
Right. I agree. I agree. But they all have enough distinct personalities that if they sounded the same, you could tell them apart.
One day I'd like them to get into a band and play in a band together. I think that would be fun.
I think that would be Bronx Johnny's personal hell.
There you go.
On that note, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Tales from the
you.
Satellite.
Yes, sir.
We are continuing to work on these. We've got a better plan coming together now. We're hoping to get them out with a little more frequency and really hit the ground
Oh,
rolling.
yeah?
So
That's you talking,
know-
not me, pal. I can do these in my fucking sleep.
Yep.
Since I have no show prep, I'll fucking put it on the record. I'll do them every 2 weeks if you want, but I'm not going to throw that out there.
We're not sure what the pace is, and I don't want to promise like we did last time and
Smart.
not deliver. But I will say we are working to try to make these a faster process.
Okay.
So behind the scenes, that's coming
Whatever
together,
you want.
and we'll
you
get
guys
some
are doing
things
a great
going.
job,
Yeah,
by the way.
But
I want to thank everyone for listening.
I do
and
too.
Watching. Fantastic. I hope they're enjoying it.
And the
I know
minimum will be one a
We got
month.
a lot of great feedback from the first episode, so we got to thank everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in here.
Absolutely, and we read some of the feedback. We incorporated some of it this time. We're going to keep doing it as we go forward, and
Cool.
our pace will always be at least one a month. So it'll never be less
Always
than one a month. Yeah,
We promise that, but if we can do more, then let's do some more.
yeah. And if you're craving more Davey Mack, there's lots of places you could see him. You could see him on
Patreon.com/EastsideDave.
where you're listening to this.
That's where you're listening and watching this, and that where you get early access to all the other shows. Or the website, EastsideDaveCountry.com, or I'm on social media at EastsideDave.
And that's where you get all the shows like the Davey Mack Sports Program, Yaddle Chattel, Wrestling with the Sun,
That's right,
and
baby.
the Roy Harder and Dave wrestling coverage from IWF
That's right.
as well.
There's so
Lots of
much
stuff there.
going on. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube section as well, Eastside Dave TV. But yeah, right now this is only for Patreon. This is Patreon only as a thank you to all the patrons out there.
And thank you for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you next time on Davey Mack's Tales from the Satellite.